So while the sales trend has dipped below zero, significantly below, we forecast a rapid zero-to-hero recovery utilizing.
The president of the company listened patiently as the chief engineer continued his excited report about what had just happened at their industry's annual trade show. We set a new benchmark record, fastest storage time ever recorded. After our presentation, when we got back to the booth, there was nobody there. Instead, everyone was lined up at the Japanese manufacturer next to us they just entered our market. I don't understand. All these people are lined up. They're buying their units. They only have 90% of the performance that we have, and yet they're buying from them. They're just going to regret that purchase. The president of the company nodded, asked his question again. How many units did we sell? The chief engineer's response, well, that's not the point. We set a new record. The president asked again, less patiently, how many? The chief engineer's response, 0. That company, when I was sitting in the meeting, was not ready for a new, strong competitor in the marketplace and the effect of a serious technology shift that was affecting them. Their house was burning, and they would not admit it. This company was not prepared for a competitor to come into the marketplace and make something abundant that up until that point had been scarce, and it is manufacturing capacity. This company knew that by manufacturing a product with 90% of the capability, they could do it much more cost effectively, be able to mass produce it, not at automobile level mass production numbers, but relative to the market that they just entered, they could produce them in volume and much less expensive, so they could undercut current pricing in the marketplace. Customers didn't want that last 10% of capability at the price that it cost, which included incredible maintenance and field support costs. Here's this great new product, which is the basis of all the PR that the company's doing at their annual trade show for their industry. Brand new record set, but isn't available for purchase because it's not stable. It's not ready for manufacture yet. So customers lined up to a well-known brand that was now making this particular product, and the rest became history. In the executive meeting, as I was listening to this report out, I was thinking, they are not prepared. They're not prepared for what it means to have a competitor that can learn fast, can iterate, and is technology enabled. And this is without the power of AI supercharging all of those things. So think about that. Some of that, does any of this sound familiar to conversations that you've had within your company? Some of the things that are heard at the time, they don't know our marketplace as well as we do. But it's a competitor that has decades of experience. They have deep pockets. They have a marketing system that allows them to learn from their customers. They're very good at iterating quickly. So when they do learn something new, they're able to get that back in to their designs, into their production processes, and the products that they're handing to customers in short order. So they're able to innovate faster as well, provide new features that customers want that we weren't able to at the time. One of them being low maintenance in the field. Cost reduction after purchase, or what it costs to maintain it in the field, is something that's very important. And the better you can improve those numbers, the stronger competitive position you have, right? We have deep customer relationships. Can those relationships withstand huge price discounts for similar products with a stable organization? Not some new startup, right? Not that startups don't provide good products. And before you start writing in the comments about that, hear me out. This is a company that was well known. The kind of company that when it went into that market, people went, oh, really? They're going to be selling to us now? Because they were familiar with other products they had in other industries, because it was a huge industrial company. What's the AI equivalent of that? It is like Anthropic or OpenAI or Google suddenly offering a product that was either not, or service, an AI-enabled service. What recently came out, Cloud Cowork, as an example. OpenAI, Google, they're offering similar things. So it's automating more and more, which means services that are currently available for you that are priced heavily, are premium products, premium services, because it takes a lot of leading edge technology to put it together. All of a sudden, it's being automated out of existence because you can get it for $100 a month, $200 a month from one of the big nameplate AI companies. Here's a solution to consider. What is it that your customer is actually buying from you? What problem are you solving? Write that out. Also write out, how do they use what you're delivering to them in their processes, in their business? How do they integrate that? Second major thing to do then is go from your customer all the way back to your suppliers. What are the major things that happen in that process? Map out the process, but at a high level, an executive brief, 6 to 10 steps at the most. Third, ask this question. What is it that AI is going to make abundant that is currently expensive, high value, and scarce out of those steps that you just mapped out? Fourth and final, what's the probability that AI is going to make that cheap and abundant within the next 3 years or less? That's where you need to focus and say, okay, how do you adapt your company? What is it that's done differently? What's the major shift, and how can AI help enable that? Now you're using AI in a way that'll be durable regardless of the technology shift, because you're asking the correct questions. You're asking better questions. Think that I'm all wet with this? Love to hear about it in the comments. Also, what are some of the answers you're getting? What are some insights that you're finding? Share them in the comments. Want to hear how you're applying things, what you're seeing in terms of what is currently scarce, which is usually determined by what is it that costs a lot, what's high value in your industry, in your supply chain, and what are the options for doing something about that. Look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for being part of the conversation.